The doors of the surgery room opened slowly and you walked out feeling like all the energy had been drained from your body. It had been a long 10-hour surgery and though everything had gone well, you were completely exhausted. One of your colleagues, Dr. Kim, was waiting outside, scribbling notes on his clipboard. When he saw you, he looked up and smiled. You look tired, he said, glancing at you. You gave him a tired smile in return. That's because I am. 10 hours is no joke. But the surgery went well, so that's good. He nodded. You did a great job in there. The patient's family will be relieved to hear the news. You leaned against the wall for a moment, rubbing your neck. I just need a break now. My feet feels like bricks. Hey Chakka, go take some rest. You have earned it. Just then your phone buzzed in your pocket. You glanced at the screen and saw it was Jungkook calling. A smile appeared on your face. Dr. Kim noticed the smile and decided to tease you a little. Your rich boyfriend, huh? You looked at him and rolled your eyes before walking away, leaving him laughing a little. You answered the call. Hey. You said, your voice sounds still tired but warm. Hey, are you okay? When are you coming home? You exhaled deeply while walking towards your office. I just finished surgery. It went well, but I'm really tired. I still have some paperwork to do, so I'll be home in a little while. Jungkook sounded a little worried. 10 hours? You must be exhausted. Do you want me to come pick you up? You shook your head even though he couldn't see you. No, that's okay. I'll be fine. I'll see you soon. Alright, I've got a surprise for you when you get home. Take your time though, I'll be waiting. You smiled, feeling your heart lift a little. Okay, I'll be there soon. As you hung up the phone, you noticed one of your colleagues and friend, Nancy. She came near you while a teasing smile on her face. Looking so happy, huh? Your boyfriend again? This time you didn't hide and nodded. Something worth to be happy about. Of course, you hit the jackpot. He is not only insanely rich but loving and caring as well. You are lucky. You smiled, touch wood. By the way, can you handle the paperwork for me? I'm really tired. You go and rest. I'll handle. You have worked hard. Your boyfriend must be waiting for you. Thank you so much. You said, walking inside the room while she chuckled and followed you. After a long day at the hospital, you finally arrived home. The moment you opened the door to your apartment, you froze. The lights were dim and the soft glow of candles filled the room. Flowers were everywhere, roses in vases, petals scattered across the floor. It looked magical. You took a few steps inside and your eyes widened as you noticed a few fancy gifts boxes on the table wrapped with shiny ribbons. In the middle of it all was standing Jungkook, smiling at you with that playful spark in his eyes. Wow, Jungkook, what is all this? He walked over to you, his hands in his pockets, looking a little proud of himself. I thought you could use something nice after your long day. You worked so hard and I wanted to make you smile. You couldn't help but smile at that. The exhaustion from your day seemed to melt away just by being with him. You didn't have to do all this, but it's really sweet. Jungkook grinned and gently took your hand, leading you to the table. I got you a little something. Go ahead, open it. You eyed the gift boxes, feeling a little nervous but also excited. Carefully, you opened the first box to reveal a beautiful dress. It was elegant but simple, perfect for a night out. Jungkook, this is gorgeous, you said, touching the soft fabric. I thought you would like it. I was thinking maybe we could go out tonight, just the two of us. A nice dinner to relax, but only if you're up for it. You have had a long day and I don't want to tire you out more. You thought about it for a moment. You were tired, yes, but the idea of going out with Jungkook, dressed up in the beautiful gown he had picked for you, sounds wonderful. And honestly, you miss spending time with him outside of your busy hospital life. I would love to. I'll wear the dress. Let me just get changed. You said, smiling at him. Jungkook's eyes lit up with excitement. Take your time. I'll be right here. You got up and was about to leave but suddenly stopped and turned towards him. Is everything okay? Before he could continue, you kissed his cheek, making his heart skip a beat. You pulled back. Thank you for everything. I'll be right back. You left in your room while he sat on the couch, touching his cheek where you kissed. A smile appeared on his face. She never show mercy on my poor heart. Always make it beat fast. He smiled on his own. As you went to change into the dress, Jungkook sat down on the couch, staring at the flickering candlelight. He should have been excited about the evening ahead. He had planned this night just to make you feel special, but a small worry had crept into his mind. He hated it. He knew you weren't like the others. From the moment you met, when his grandpa was in the hospital, you never treated him like he was a billionaire. You didn't care about his money. You cared about him, Jungkook. But still, everyone around him kept saying things. His family, his friends, they all warned him. She's probably just with you for your money. Women like her are always after rich guys. Watch out, she might be using you. At first, Jungkook brushed it off. He trusted you, but the more he heard it, the more it bothered him. He started to question himself. What if they were right? What if you were only pretending? He has seen it before, people acting sweet and caring only to turn out greedy once they realize what he could offer. He didn't want to believe it. He couldn't believe it, but that doubt planted by others was starting to take roots in his mind. So tonight, even though he felt guilty about it, he had decided to test you. He was going to pretend to forget his wallet when you went out for dinner. If you truly love him, you wouldn't care about paying. If you were only with him for his money, maybe you would be upset or disappointed. The thought of testing you like this made his heart heavy. He didn't want to hurt you or make you feel like he doubted you, but he needed to prove, not just to himself but to everyone around him, that you love him for who he was, not for what he had. Jungkook sighed, running a hand through his hair. I'm sorry, I just need to do this for us, to prove my doubts and everyone else wrong. Just then he heard the soft sound of footsteps coming from the bedroom. He looked up, and when you stepped out in the dress, looking so beautiful, all his doubts faded for a moment. How could anyone think you didn't love him? But the plan was already in his mind. He just hoped that after tonight, he'd prove everyone wrong once and for all. Jungkook's jaw dropped slightly as he looked at you. His gaze softened as he walked over to you, his eyes never leaving yours. You look amazing, he whispered, taking your hand. You felt your cheeks warm under his gaze. Thanks to you. Jungkook chuckled softly, pulling you close. Shall we? With your hand in his, you couldn't help but to feel like the luckiest person in the world. After a day full of stress and exhaustion, this night with Jungkook was exactly what you needed. You and Jungkook arrived at the restaurant, a cozy but elegant place with soft lighting and gentle music playing in the background. The moment you stepped in, you could feel how special the evening was. It wasn't overly fancy, but it had a warm romantic atmosphere that made you smile. Jungkook held your hand as the waiter led you to a table by the window. Outside, you could see the city lights twinkling like stars. He pulled out a chair that made you smile even go wider. Such a gentleman, you teased, sitting down. For you always, he replied with a playful grin. As you both sat down, Jungkook smiled at you across the table. Though you noticed something different in his eyes, he looked thoughtful, almost distant for a second, but then he reached over and took your hand again. You look amazing tonight, he said softly while his eyes softened as he gazed at you. You smiled, feeling your cheeks warm under his gaze. Thank you, you always know how to make me feel special. Jungkook chuckled, leaning back in his chair. That's because you are special. The waiter came by handing both of you menus, and after a few moments of looking, you ordered your meals. Everything felt so perfect, the food, the atmosphere, the way Jungkook's eyes sparkled when he looked at you. I'm glad we are doing this. I have missed just spending time together without all the hospital craziness. Jungkook smiled softly, his eyes focused on yours. I missed it too. I know how hard you work, and I just wanted tonight to be something special for you. You deserve it. You felt your heart warm at his words. You always make things special, Jungkook. Even if we were just sitting at home watching TV, I would still be happy. He chuckled, but there was something deeper in his gaze. I just want you to know how much I appreciate you. You are different from anyone I have ever met. You raised an eyebrow, amused by his sudden seriousness. Different? How? He hesitated for a moment and then shook his head. I mean, you work so hard and still managed to look the most gorgeous woman. This made you laugh and your cheeks turned pink. You're flirting, you know that? I became so much more when I'm with you. You both talked and laughed like that for more than an hour. But then, just as the waiter brought the bill to your table, you saw Jungkook hesitate. He patted his pockets first casually, then with a bit more urgency. A frown seized his forehead, and he looked at you with an apologetic smile. I think I forgot my wallet at home, he said. His voice was a little unsure. You blinked, surprised. Oh, that's okay, I can cover it this time, you said, waving it off. Jungkook studied your face carefully, almost as if he was waiting for something. You're sure I can pay you back later? You laughed softly. Of course, it's no big deal. You have treated me plenty of times already. It's only fair I pay for dinner once in a while. Jungkook smiled, but behind the smile, he felt a wave of relief. You hadn't even hesitated, no anger, no disappointment, just a simple I've got this. As you handed the waiter your card, Jungkook watched you closely. His heart felt lighter. He had doubted you for a brief moment, let other people's voice get into his head, but now he saw it clearly. You didn't care about his money, the reason why he fell in love with you in the first place. When the bill was settled, you looked back at Jungkook, noticing the thoughtful look on his face. Is everything okay? You asked, tilting your head slightly. Jungkook nodded. A soft smile was spread across his face. Yeah, everything's perfect. Better than perfect. He reached across the table, taking your hand in his again, giving it a gentle squeeze. Wine, thank you. You looked at him a bit confused. For what? For being you, for loving me for who I am, he said simply. His eyes were full of affection. You laughed lightly. Well, I wouldn't love you for anything else, would I? Jungkook chuckled softly, feeling a little embarrassed but mostly grateful. He had tested you, even though deep down he knew you didn't deserve that, and now, after tonight, he had no doubt in his heart. You were with him because you loved him, not because of what he had. As you both got up to leave the restaurant, walking hand in hand, Jungkook couldn't stop smiling. He had proved, not just to everyone else but to himself, that your love was real, and that was all that mattered. After the restaurant, you and Jungkook came to the riverside because you wanted to end this day with a little walk with him. The day started so hectic, ended up making you smile, and it was all because of Jungkook. The way he cares about you, notice everything makes you fall in love with him more with time. As you were standing, Jungkook was admiring you. The moonlight sparkled on the river and the cool night air wrapped around both of you. You leaned on the railing watching the water flow, feeling peaceful, but beside you, Jungkook was very quiet. You looked at him and saw his eyebrows were scrunched up like he was thinking hard about something. Jungkook, are you okay? You asked softly, tilting your head to see his eyes. He turned to you, his lips curving into a small smile, but it didn't reach his eyes. Yes, I'm fine. You gave him a doubtful look. Are you sure? You have been acting weird all evening. He sighed, running a hand through his hair. There was a long pause before he finally spoke. His voice was quieter than usual. Wyan, there's something I need to tell you. Something I have been holding back. You frowned, sensing the seriousness in his tone. What is it? Jungkook hesitated, looking away towards the river before he finally said, You know earlier when I forgot my wallet at the restaurant? You are still thinking about that. It's okay, I pay or you pay, it's the same. He shook his head and swallowed hard. I didn't actually forget it. I did it on purpose. You blinked in surprise and a small laugh escaped you. Wait, what? Why would you do that? Jungkook's face was filled with guilt now. I wanted to see how you would react. I wanted to test you, to see if you were with me for my money. Your laughter stopped. You stared at him, feeling a mix of emotions rush through you. You did what? Your voice was quieter but tinged with disbelief. Jungkook winced, clearly regretting it. I know it sounds bad. It was stupid. I didn't want to do it, but people keep saying things to me, my family, friends. They keep telling me that you are only with me because of money. You stepped back slightly, crossing your arms, and you believed them. No, I didn't believe them. I never doubted your love, but I have seen this happen so many times around me. My father's first wife left him for money. I've watched people I care about get hurt by those they thought loved them. It's just I got scared. You looked at him, anger and hurt in your chest. So you thought testing me was the answer? After everything we have been through. It's been 6 months, Jungkook. You still don't trust me. Jungkook shook his head, stepping closer but not touching you. No, I do trust you. I know you love me, but it's just everything I have seen in my life. It got to me. I let my fears control me and I'm sorry. You sighed, still feeling frustrated. Jungkook, I don't care about your money. I have never cared about it. I love you for who you are, not your wealth, not your lifestyle. I know. Jungkook said softly, his eyes filled with regret. I realized that I made a mistake by thinking about it, and I'm so sorry for letting my insecurities get the better of me. I hate that I hurt you. You stared at him for a long moment, feeling the sincerity in his words, but still feeling the sting of what he had done. I understand your fear, Jungkook. I do, but you should have just talked to me. I can't believe you felt the need to test me. He stepped closer again, his eyes never leaving yours. You're right, I should have. I messed up and I'm so sorry. I trust you completely, and I know now more than ever that you are not like anyone else. You are the best thing that has ever happened to me. You looked at him, your anger slowly started to fade as you saw the regret and love in his eyes. You let out a small sigh, shaking your head. Just don't do that again, okay? No more tests. Jungkook's lip twitched into a small, relieved smile. No more test, I promise. You softened, reaching out and grabbing his hand. Good, because if you ever doubt me again, I might just leave you with the bill for real next time. Jungkook laughed, pulling you into his arms. I deserved it. You leaned into his chest, resting your head against him. I'm serious. You'll be washing dishes while I enjoy dessert. He chuckled, pressing a kiss to the top of your head. I'll gladly wash all the dishes if it means I get to stay with you. You smirked, looking up at him. You're lucky you're cute. Jungkook grinned down at you. You think I'm cute? Don't push it. You teased, but your smile gave you away. Jungkook's laughter filled the quiet night air, and as he held you close by the river, you couldn't help but to smile too, knowing that no matter what, your love for each other was stronger than any doubt.